Leo. Leo, you are woefully in the way.
We got kitties all up in these frames. Alex's cat's Leo's just there. Then there's a cat that keeps walking forth between multiple cameras.
Oh, really?
Beans is currently laying on my computer stuff.
Yeah. I know Beans was on Hope's screen a second ago, and then I saw it walk over. Oh! The stream audio's back. I heard myself yell about kitties all up in frames. Yeah, it looks like stream audio's back. I don't know. I heard myself yell in my own ears, so I should probably actually turn down my mic. I sounded a little bit louder than everyone else. But, I'll turn down my mic and then I'll end up just yelling, so we'll see if it helps.
Where do I go with this? Oh. Oh, looks like, yeah.
Hello, hello. Can people hear me now? Testing. Alright. I don't know why it wouldn't.
Bless you.
I can hear you. It sounds like it's on like a 10-second delay. But I did hear you ask if you could hear everyone.
All right, Leo. Gonna need you to move, kitty.
Hope and Virgil, can you both speak just to make sure that we're picking up everyone?
Well, that was Virgil. So this is me
vacantly
speaking.
into the void.
Yeah.
Go get a bean.
All right, Leo. Back you go.
Alright, I can confirm that everyone's audio is now working.
Right.
And I fixed the problem on my own. Didn't need to call Dan. Look at me go.
Look at you go.
Look at me go.
You're evolving.
Suction command.
Okay, DM,
All right.
you might need to start over now.
So yes, you find yourself on the lip of a kind of a raised canyon with a valley in the middle. As I described, the remnants of what looks to be a small, simple town built here in this mushroom valley, broken and asunder. Um, Bodies litter the floor at the channel here in the middle, where upon just even a general glance over the wreckage, you can see multiple different species or races of victims here. You can see a number of kobolds, drow. You see a number of what look like large mushroom creatures, humanoid mushroom creatures, and goblins. And every so often, amongst the bodies, you can see the remnants of human clerics of or ministers of the Black Enchantry. Their, you know, blackened outfits, robes, clearly evident throughout the rest of the casualties here. So yet another large battle had commenced here, resulting in just more destruction. It's through this general overview of the battlefield that you notice near the very center a large, massive looking giant creature. Ethereal, coming from the Underdark, you specifically would recognize this to be called a Formorian giant. These are rare through the Underdark, but do make the Underdark their home. And it's a species of giantkin that is rather grotesque and almost mutated through the energies that are, suffused through the Underdark. And at the heels of this giant, you see more of these large, tall, lanky, humanoid mushroom creatures. They are in seemingly simple adventuring garb, but they are dragging, or at least attempting to, dragging the Formorian giant further up this channel to the north. You can see further to the north. Actually, let's have everyone make a perception at this point, if you all like. Mm-hmm.
22.
All right.
Ooh, since I'm a
8,
ranger,
12.
and I think I get advantage on this because ranger. Let's see here. Oh, nat 20.
Heck yeah.
Nice. Okay. The other 12. PT, you want to throw in on this as well?
18.
Okay. Well, between Ephraim and his superior dark vision, Sally and PT, you all look past this initial scene in the center, and you can see further up in the north all these little teeny tiny mushroom creatures. They look adorable at first glance. But you can see that they appear to be very, very similar to the large ones in the middle. And most likely are either the young of this species, or a different race of them, but they are kind of flitting about, going through some of the old houses, and you can see some of them are carrying bits of trinkets. Some of them are carrying, large planks of wood or other, household items, pots or, semi-usable, sundry items. Uh, Sally and Sally and Afriel in particular, you notice that some of these other small creatures are carrying bits of body parts, hands, legs, feet, things that aren't
Um,
massive, but small enough for them to carry. They seem to be dismembered limbs. Um, and you also notice that there are a few drag marks that lead up this this way towards the north end of this map. It seems that there's been quite a bit of work already done in this section. But at first glance, they do not seem to notice you.
okay. Would these little mushies be familiar to me?
Make a nature check.
Critical fail.
Critical fail.
That's
You
right.
have-
I've got 2 dice rolls. It's a 20 and a 1.
Yeah.
No,
You
I got no idea.
Yeah, hopefully unfamiliar with these creatures. You have no idea.
I know
what they
exactly what the
are.
giant is, but the mushrooms,
Yeah.
they might as well be little gnomes. I don't know.
We eat
Well,
them?
they seem kind of similar.
Yeah, of course we can eat them. I mean, I don't know what they are, but yeah, we could eat them if you want. Actually, I know a few people that would like to try. I know this guy he'll literally eat anything. So he
Oh,
just
my.
sucks into a pocket watch and it gets all soggy and then he eats it later. I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't ask questions about it. Cool.
Right.
All right, so I guess as far as we can tell, the little duders they're preparing
Yeah, they're
dinner.
just kind of
They're
scurrying
preparing
around.
dinner. Okay. Does it look like there's any signs of like where the enchantry would have retreated to? Because I guess I'm assuming that, like overlooking the cliff here, we can kind of tell like which side the enchantry would have been defending from. Like, does it look like there's a particular direction that they may have retreated to based on the
Uh,
environment here?
Make me a survival check.
Here we go. Oh my god. I'm just gonna save you the trouble and tell you that I failed the check.
Well,
Actually, hold on. I rolled a 2 plus 4, and my proficiency bonus is doubled.
Well, what do you
So
have
it'll be
advantage on this since you're
so
within a
it's
favorite terrain?
actually not. It's not advantage. I was reading up on the proficiencies. Natural Explorer gives you double proficiency bonus, not
Ah.
advantage. That was I was reading up. So technically, my nat 20 from earlier would have actually just been a natural 22, which I don't think changes the outcome of what we saw.
Yeah.
But this will be a 9 with all my bonuses.
Yeah, it's a little too difficult to tell at first glance.
All right, well, I'll turn to the party here and go. I never seen those things before. If anybody else that has knowledge of magical creatures would like to take a look.
Say we just eat them.
I mean, yeah. I don't know if they would like that very much.
Could I try and make a nature check?
Sure, go for it.
Alrighty. That is a 12 again.
You especially being a druid, you have a rather advanced knowledge of plant life and um, the manipulation of plant life in particular. However, the 12, you've just barely heard of certain species of sentient plant life. Um, you're not entirely certain as far as the degree of societal familiarity that they would have, or whether or not what you are noticing here, these creatures down here in the Underdark, whether or not they would be friendly or not. But you've definitely heard of sentient plant life.
All right,
We
well,
can't eat them.
we eat sentient things all the time, don't we? Not that I mind. All right, so they're going to the north. You said right? They're traveling.
Yes.
Okay.
You can see they're dragging the body with them.
All right. I'll try and stealth my way down here a little bit. See if I can gather a little more information on these little jabronis.
All right, make a stealth.
I should never make a stealth check ever again.
Oh no.
I rolled another nat one.
I think you should just
Alright.
never make checks ever again. Your rolls are really
I've rolled the dice 4 times, and
we did say that, like,
I mean, it
Ephraim-
wasn't. I mean, I take it back. It wasn't me that failed the stealth check in the castle. So that alerted everything. That's what you're talking about. Could have been anybody in the party that rolled a critical fail on a stealth check as a ranger. Again.
I was just saying we did joke that Ephraim dying here, he does not have immunity.
So apparently I just bumped my way into every mushroom on the way up and then dropped my maw on the ground.
Yeah, so you try to, duck into a bit of the shadows down here above on the upper ledge of this valley. And sneaking through, you can find that there's not much in the way of actual shadows here, as these large, 10, 12, 14-foot tall mushrooms are illuminating the space rather well. So actually finding some shadows to skulk through is difficult. As you start approaching the edge here of this ravine, you can't help but step on some loose bits of earth that tumble and fall down this. It's only at this point here, it's only about a 15-foot drop into the valley. And it is clearly heard. You watch as these two large, tall, thin, lanky mushroom people, they drop the feet of this, giant and look directly in your direction. And they kind of flinch back at first and start reaching for their hip. As you see there's, pouches and, bits and bobs attached to their persons. And they just kind of reel back and they reach for whatever is on their person and kind of hold out a hand at first and make direct eye contact with you first before anything else happens. And they speak out. Wait, are you with the clan?
I mean, yeah, we're with the clan up on the surface. We've got some renegade black cloth members we're hunting down here.
Surface walkers.
Well, I mean, I'm originally from down here, so
Hmm.
but the
That's
rest of
what
them,
I
the
was
rest of them are
asking.
surface walkers.
Are you not part of the local drow here in this
Uh,
section of the Underdark?
there was a time I was part of the drow down here in the Underdark, but unfortunately, I don't have a clan anymore.
Uh, are you by yourself? Are there others of you with
Uh,
you?
yeah, there are a few others. Just up the way a little bit. We're not looking for a fight with you if we can avoid it, but we do have business with the ones wearing the black clothes. If you
Go
can
ahead.
point us in the direction.
Make me a diplomacy with advantage.
Would that just be a? Because diplomacy's that's a Pathfinder one, right?
Yeah, it would be
Oh
persuasion.
yes, persuasion. I'm
Persuasion.
sorry.
Okay. 17.
Okay. So you see, as one of them, this one here, who spoke out and reached to you directly, he's maintaining eye contact with you, and you can just barely see the other one back up slowly, and you can see they're almost kind of corralling all these small little, rugrat as they all start to like move behind this elder.
Okay, so
Alright.
does it am I getting the impression that he's backing up for his own safety or like so that they can
It seems that this one is backing up for their own safety and to
they're a
protect
little wary of
their
me. All right. Well, I mean, I do
yeah.
have my bow in my hand, so
Mhm. And it seems like they have children present, so they're also
Oh, is
trying
that
to.
that's what these little nipple looking guys are?
Yeah, you can
Oh, I mean,
ascertain at this point
they're the
that
teeny ones. Okay.
yeah, these small little mushrooms are, you know, rather young for their species, and you
All right.
can
Well.
kind of tell that this seems to be a parental,
Okay. Well, I
protection.
I don't need to I don't need to provoke them. I'll just keep interacting with the one that I have been.
Uh,
Obviously, I'll glance over, but I won't do any
hmm,
like body language, or I won't shift my attention really that much at all. So
gotcha.
I'll engage the one that I've been talking to.
Hmm. Oh, well, you say that you're here to fight off against these Ashen Cloak ones, yes?
Yeah, yeah, I've got some
Hmm.
unfinished business with them.
Hmm.
They kind of made a mess of things up on the surface, and now they've run down here to, I assume, make a mess of things down here as well.
Yes, they certainly have. Well, whilst thou give us a hand, if you and your party are of like mind,
Uh, yeah, I mean, I guess you're just taking the. Is it safe to assume that you're eating these bodies, or are you just giving them a burial? Uh, I could give you a
eating.
hand. I just want to know what's going on with them first.
No, no, no. We do not feed on the flesh of these creatures. No, uh, we run a mortuary of sorts, and we are essentially feeding their flesh to the mortuary.
Okay. And is this mortuary? Do you have anything to do with the local Drow clan?
Mm, no, no. Our clan of Myconids, we serve only as a place of burial, our mourning morel mortuary. Are you not familiar? The mourning morel?
I don't know. I would say I'm probably not, but out of character.
Hmm.
Would this be
Um,
something I know of from living in the Underdark, or is this,
perhaps.
or would you say that this is
Um,
particularly unique to this section of the Underdark, which I wouldn't be as familiar with?
yeah, I would say this is definitely more unique to this
Okay.
area.
The,
But you
with
may
that
have
being
heard it in passing,
okay,
as the
um,
drow of this continent, would primarily make use of their services, especially for their, higher ranking members or leaders that may have passed on.
all right. And unrelated, are we speaking in common or undercommon?
Common.
Okay. I don't know if they would have addressed me in Undercommon, considering we're in the Underdark.
Mm.
Either way, I would have just responded in the same language. So if we're speaking Common, that's good enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's at this point, the rest of your party, like Sally, Druskvar, you guys all notice that.
I guess they probably would have noticed I'm talking at this point. So
Yeah, you all would have recognized the sound of conversation, and yeah,
and all jumped off the cliff and initiated combat in a surprise attack.
Yes.
I did build a combat for this just for
I
that
want to fight the mushrooms. I don't want to fight the bushies. All right. Well, out of curiosity, how much of the conversation did the rest of the party hear? Do they know that? Well, I guess I don't need to ask them. I'll just I'll ask the mushroom man. I'll say, give us a couple minutes to discuss our plan here.
very
Certainly
well.
would be nice to have allies down here, considering they are usually few and far between.
Well, you may not find us to be aggressive, but we do tend to stay of a neutral position.
Hey, that's fine. I'm not going to ask you to take up vengeance on my behalf, considering you. But if as long as we're not getting attacked, sometimes that's more than enough down here.
Very well.
All right.
Converse with your party and reach back out. We will continue doing our service here, and
Also, what when you say help us out, you're taking, I assume, all the bodies to be mortuaried?
yes.
Okay.
Eventually, we will gather all the remains that are left here of this fortunate town.
Okay.
They will be buried, and their bodies will flourish the gardens of our mortuary.
Okay. I will. I guess I'll come back. We'll have a little powwow with the party. Little party powwow.
Very well. Do what you must. My partner and I will continue.
Okay. All right. Group huddle. All right, gang. So I don't know where everybody's gonna stand. Well, we'll huddle under the shroomies over here. So I don't know how much of that conversation you heard, but it sounds like they want help addressing the burial of all the dead down here. While I don't have any particular attachment or care for what happens to the dead, as they've served their purpose. It might be nice to get any potential information we can by helping the Myconids here. So if you guys want to help them get the bodies to a mortuary, we might be able to find temporary respite and information on where the Black Enchantry is going to be.
Ooh, I can do the flower arrangements. I can get together a nice bouquet to put on all of their graves to make it look so pretty.
Druskvar, at the mention of the word Mycon, it sparks a recollection of memory where that, those very few and far between species of sentient plant life, these myconids, as you now recall, are a species of mushroom people, essentially. They live primarily in the Underdark and are a seemingly peaceful species, but can be a bit more territorial, I guess you would say.
Okay.
But it definitely sparks that recollection.
Yeah. So as I was saying, I understand that you might be able to do some flower arrangements, but how many of the bodies can you carry at one time?
Oh,
Mel's character, who's off the top of my head.
Sally. I can carry, at least 2 with my 20 strength.
Perfect.
I mean, I could always try to do like a third, like do the little whatever this versions of a fireman's carry while I carry like the other two, like wear one like a scarf and like the other two like this. It is possible.
Does anybody have a really big bag of holding?
No.
A body bag of holding, if you will.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to take note of that for future use. The body bag of holding.
Yes.
Well, I guess we also don't know how far the village is, so don't feel the need to carry 3 if you're gonna get tired out in the first 10 steps.
Very true.
I don't want you to get all tuckered out on me.
Aw, you're so sweet for caring.
But yeah, I mean, yes, we'll call it caring. If anybody else has an objection to helping the removal of the bodies, speak up now. Otherwise, I'd say we can help with the bodies, and maybe if we find any useful equipment, potentially repurpose it, as the dead have no need. So, not that I'm going to go around looting the bodies, but
Like a
What'd
sorry,
you say,
I hope I can't really hear you that well.
sounds like a plan.
Oh. All right. Well, I will. I guess I'll hustle back over here and inform Mister. Excuse me.
Yes.
I didn't catch your name earlier. If you have one.
They stop dragging the body and approach the edge. I am known as Erdgen. This is my partner, Lilper.
Okay. Well, I think we've come to an agreement that we'll help you with the bodies, in exchange for some information about where we could potentially find our enemies here, or at least the Black and Cloth members. But we are willing to help you out if you could give us some information.
Very well. Well,
Cool.
an exchange of services is called. Less
Yeah.
so an action of taking sides. This is
There you
more of a
go.
trading of favors, one would
Yeah.
say, yes?
We can barter here. You know,
I think that would go well with
we can speed up your progress here with your duty.
Well, of
Quite
course.
quickly. We have a couple members on the stronger side here. If everybody would like to come down, I guess at this point I'll work my way down to the middle here to I
Right.
guess to get ready to help.
Sure.
Huh.
Make me an athletics or acrobatics check and you scramble down the side of this 15-foot drop.
Um, 9.
Ooh.
I
So
use Misty Step instead. No, I started climbing. If I trip, I might use Misty Step to to just act like it never happened. But
you start climbing down with the confidence in your heart.
I can't
But
roll. I rolled
it's
a
that
freaking 4, dude.
that same step that you took before that initiated this conversation breaks down even more as you take yet another step on this particular section. And you can't help but start to lose your balance, start windmilling, trying to catch your balance as you slowly start to fall off the side of the cliff. It's not much
Behold,
of a ship.
in all of his glory, a ranger in his favored terrain, slipping and stumbling his way down a cliff face.
You watch as even the lanky arms kind of reach out to try and stabilize you as well, and they seem much longer than you initially surveyed, as they're just really thin, lanky bodies. Reaches out and kind of stabilizes and catches you mid-air, catching you to at least, or allowing you to at least get your feet under you. And though this creature seems frail almost, there's a certain strength that you feel when the hand kind of clasps onto your shoulder to stabilize you.
Oh, thank you.
These are
I think this will be quite the fruitful partnership we have here.
indeed. Who
Right.
may
I
I
mean,
ask is
after an hour, I can't trip anymore, right? Is that how Natural Explorer works? After an hour
I
in my
mean, you
favorite
tell
terrain,
me.
well, after an hour, it said after 1 hour, the no longer difficult terrain doesn't affect you anymore and
Oh,
stuff.
then yes.
But yeah, I don't think it's been an hour since we've
No,
put down the elevator. It's
hasn't
been
been
like
just
2 minutes.
um,
That's great. Yes. God, I can't believe this is so embarrassing. 5
it
dice
is
rolls,
fine.
4 of them less than a 5.
You
think
are.
you need to grab some different dice.
You're right.
These are my Ephriel dice. I can't grab different dice. These are the dice I use when I play Ephriel, you know? They decide to make me look like a buffoon in my own home, alright? This is my truth.
We just accept Ephriel's truth.
Out of curiosity, how many of my party members saw me trip down?
I was right behind
They
you,
all,
so
they all
it's
saw it,
probably
right?
me.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'd say so.
I meant to do that.
I'm ingratiating myself to this new potential ally.
I wanted to see how good of an ally they were, if they would catch me as I fell, or if they
I
would let
was
me fall
testing.
flat on my face, you know? Alright, cool. Alright, well, I guess I'm not gonna go around looting bodies, but sorry. Mr. I'm so bad at the names. I gotta write them down here. Can't pronounce anyone's name.
Ergan.
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 I was gonna ask if we were playing Monster Hunter.
Ergan. About how far away
yeah.
is your mortuary here, just so we get a
Oh,
feel for
no.
how much we should strain
The morning
ourselves.
morale is no more than, I'd say, time is a little tricky to describe to you surface walkers here.
How many steps is it?
About a half-mile to a mile trek from this encampment.
Not too bad. That's not too bad. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, I guess let's get started.
Yes.
I'm not gonna go around like looting bodies, but any of the bodies I'm dragging or attempting to drag, I guess I'll do probably one at a time because
Yeah.
I'll
There
I'll use some
cart?
diligence.
Is there like a cart or a wagon in this little village thing that we could put bodies on?
Make me a perception or an investigation. That's a good idea.
Just got his thinking cap on. Let's go.
Oh, that's not great.
I mean, if not, we can just stack all the bodies up on Sally and just drag her on the ground, right?
13.
You can. It takes you a little bit. You start like investigating like this section here, which seems to be a much larger like household like area. And yeah, I would say that you find a somewhat passable cart. It's a little bit on the like shoddy side. You know, it's not super great in quality, but it seems serviceable. It seems like it's made to be work. So it's not like high quality wood or anything, but it's serviceable for sure.
Okay. Yeah. I'd help Ephriel with searching bodies and then just taking them and putting them on that cart.
Yeah. Cool.
So as you are all
Do we think
assisting in this,
do we think we can get all of them on the cart, or is there going to be a couple that need to be carried?
No. This is more of like a cart that's used for like baling hay or, finding a collection of rocks, wheeling it over to a separate area. This is much more of like a field field cart rather than like a transportation. So you can definitely fit maybe 3 or 4 bodies in there
All right. Well, if we
rather easily, but it's not like you can put the whole onslaught.
okay, yeah. Well, I was counting up the bodies. I was like, all right, there's 10 bodies. We get 4 in the wagon. Maybe we could have Sally pull the wagon. Ephraim could carry a body.
Okay.
I don't know how everybody else is. I don't know how everybody else's
Put
strength is
one on
looking, but...
each of my shoulders and then tie the wagon around my waist.
Yeah,
And I'll just...
Oh wow.
Oh my god. So we don't necessarily have to go through the
No.
actual like statistics
Well,
of clearing
hold
out
on,
this
hold on. I
field,
would
but-
like to get a plan together. If we could get them all in one go, I feel like we should
Uh-huh.
explore that option. Not that I want to, spend an hour here going
Mhm.
back and forth doing one body at a time, but
No. So I would say for just
what if we
expediency,
stack up a bunch of bodies on the giant and then
and then
have
drag
Sally
the
pull the
giant.
giant, and then we can get 4 bodies in the cart, 6 bodies on the giant. What if we put the bodies on the mushrooms' heads?
No, wouldn't be able to do that.
What if we
Um,
use the kids as like little logs, and then we just keep putting one kid in front of the giant body?
Oh my god! Kind of like a water paint.
Yes. Okay. All right. Well, I
I
digress.
can
We can,
attest that kids would love that. They would.
Yeah. So
we're gonna make a game out of it.
for
that being said, we
expediency's
can
sake,
skip ahead. Yeah.
You all spend the next about hour and a half to 2 hours clearing out and dragging, or at least collecting a lot of these bodies, getting them together and starting to drag away and carry and cart a number of these corpses to this mortuary that Urgan has explained.
Cool.
Throughout the trip, the various trips back and forth, Urgan explains that he and his community of Myconids run the Morning Morel Mortuary. This mortuary is a place of neutral ground where all members of the Underdark can come and rest their loved ones or chieftains or anything in particular. They can come and rest their kin within the mortuary. As you guys are dragging the bodies and eventually reach the mortuary, you find that it's very similar to this valley here, where it's a large cavernous area. It's hundreds of feet in expanse, where the entire field is just completely suffused with all manner and kinds and species of mushroom. You have the very large, like bell-topped luminous mushrooms from the cavern that you were just in, that illuminate the surrounding area. You have a large, thin, like frond-like mushroom grow high up into the air like forms of trees. There are large sheets of like molds that just cover like large rocks and the cavern walls of this entire area. You can all hear the bubbling, crashing sound of a waterfall on the far end of this massive cavern that seems to pour out from just the ceiling itself, creating a large uh, lake and moat that surrounds a central uh, tribe of or collection of hummocks and very crude homes. But the whole rest of this field is just a huge expanse of earth and mushrooms of all forms of variety. Um, Druskvar, is it Druskvar or
Bar.
Druskvar? You can't help but feel a sense of almost giddiness as the sheer amount of species of mushrooms here are on full display. And it's just an amazing, like, you've probably never even seen some of the species of mushrooms here. It's just a wonderfully colorful um, expanse of land as well. And Ergen again describes, we act as a neutral party for any denizens of the Underdark who bring their loved ones here. We bury their bodies within the soil, which then feeds the rest of the mushrooms, the morels here at the mortuary, and lays their body. The mushrooms here have a certain resiliency to them, so even rather vile creatures or aberration or creatures that are not born of this plane are able to be disposed of here as well. Their remains safely and naturally returned to the earth and used as sustenance for the rest of the mortuary. And my people, at least for my clan here, we act as servants and tenders to the garden, act as pastors or uh, just people to lend an ear to confide in, as we any of those who bury their loved ones want any sort of services rendered, we act in that regard as well. This recent intrusion of these ashen clothed members of your surface walkers unfortunately has seemed to uh, added a great deal of harm to our mortuary. We're unsure as to what their goal is, as we've tried not to interfere with their like directly. uh, we're unsure as to their end goal, but we do have at least an idea as to where they may be headed, as we've been able to follow at least the direction of the chaos that they've left behind them.
Alright. Cool.
Tell me, are you? Excuse me, Leo. I need to look at my notes here.
Go for it.
Are you familiar with the city of Dearth here in the Underdark?
Probably.
I would say that you were somewhat familiar with it. Most likely,
I definitely heard of it at the very least.
yeah, Dearth is one of the major Duergar cities in the Underdark, and since you never really would mess with them
Yeah.
directly or
Yeah, I
really,
mean, most of my I mean, really, when I was down in the Underdark, I was like mostly like a kid, so I wouldn't have
Yeah.
really. It was probably one of those like, hey, like, don't go to that city.
yeah,
It's
probably.
not particularly welcoming to us. Probably
Mm.
knowing how Drow are.
Yeah, yeah,
Definitely.
I'd say that's fair.
I would say I'm familiar with it, but I've not been there.
Yeah. Dearth is one of the major cities of the Duergar down here. I can only imagine that a place of relative civilization would be, I don't know, beckoning for these ashen cloaked ones. What their end goal is, it's not quite our place to know anyway. Trying to act as a neutral party as best as possible, limiting our involvement with the this particular invitation.
Well, that's I don't want to ruin your neutrality here and force you into a battle you don't want to take.
Mm.
So
but an information given for a service performed is
Yeah, I know.
quite
Or-
well
yeah, I
endowed.
think it's a pretty. I think it's an equal trade here, considering. So,
Yes.
all right. Well, just out of curiosity, is there any settlements of my kind in the area as well?
Um, in this particular area, there's a more of a roaming tribe of drow. They tend to flit between certain areas here in the Underdark and other tribes up at the surface realm.
Okay.
They seem to be more marauder. I mean, kind of skirmishing throughout various tribes and other communities here, picking off what they can on the surface. If I can remember, I believe it's the Tamarinth tribe.
Okay. Well, I think we have as much luck trying to track them down as we would wandering out into the dark to find who we're looking for. So,
Hmm.
sounds like
Well,
dearth it is.
very well.
You know, uh, droughts usually don't want to be found when they're marauding. So, all right,
They are quite good at keeping to themselves.
cool. All right, so I'll let the party know of our new hot lead
Hmm.
to the so it's the Drugar Dwergar I can't
Dwargar.
pronounce it Dwargar.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, the dark dwarves.
Mhm. Yes.
All right.
Um,
Um,
I will continue to seek out any other hints or information that could abide some help to you. But
well,
for the time being, if you all would like to rest here in my humble but welcoming home, it was a long day's work. Quite a lot of tending still needs to be done to the garden. So you're more than welcome to stay here for the moment. Rest up, gather yourselves before the next few days is a bit of a journey to death. There will be quite a lot of arduous uh, lands to traverse. So you may want to collect yourselves now.
yeah,
If
I
you'll
think
just excuse the working folk here, I can ensure that my mate Lilbert will be able to gather you all a rather suitable resting place for the time being.
cool. All right. I'm definitely in favor of a one last rest in a safe place before we
Yeah.
brave the Underdark for a matter of days to get to a city.
Mhm.
So,
Very
yeah,
well.
if there's anybody that would like to do anything apart
I would
from,
also say at this point, with the various trips back and forth of collecting bodies and dragging them this like mile and a half, almost 2 miles. No, well, it's a mile and a half, we'll say, uh, between the morning mortuary or the morning morel and this dilapidated town now. I would say between all those trips, you've all kind of collected, uh, like, I mean, there's not much in the way of valuable. We're talking a simple
Mhm.
tribe that lived
Yeah,
in this subterranean environment. So you do find, around like with everything collected, 70 to 80 pieces of silver, like 10 gold at max, um, a number of, supplies mining supplies, eating utensils, mess kits. There's a climbing kit that you find that seems to be in relative good condition. A number of uh, small gems and garnets that seem to be, maybe four of them in total throughout the people here. Nothing in the way of
Okay.
weaponry as far as, what better than what you currently carry. As far as like spell casting components, that's a little bit more abundant. Um, Things like naturally sourced, mushrooms or like sands or you know finer, not as expensive gemstones or anything like that. Like very basic spell casting component you can find here as well if you're specifically searching for it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I've wrote it down in our party loot tab. It's 80 silver. Actually, let me find the number that divides by 5 most evenly.
Yeah, that
It would probably be 75, right?
sure. Mhm. There's some like decorative plates that seem to be like one of the more intact helms.
Everybody gets 15 silver if they want to add it to their money count. That's for whatever reason I had volunteered to do party loot. So here you go.
Do we know how long these, like how long ago, like a lot of these people we're hunting down have been down here, or when
Um,
this slaughter of this village happened? Do we happen to know any of that kind of stuff?
Ergen will explain that it's been probably 2 or 3 days since it's happened, and they've been kind of working on clearing out these spaces. Um, if you all recall, your crew was about a day's, 2 days behind the chantry, the the ministers. So it's only been like 48 to like 72 hours between everything happening. So you guys are still a few hours behind, but you're still kind of following. It's still a pretty hot trail,
Cool.
and most of the members that are here, uh, they were residents of this little town. They lived here. They created a life here, and they tried defending their town from this invading force, essentially, and were paid for it. But Ergen guides your troop to one of the larger, well-built hovels, and directs you to uh, kind of like a barn-like area that he has attached to his home. So this may not be the best of accommodations, but it'll do for at least a few hours if you spend the night, of course. Lil Pert will be able to uh, provide you with any sort of comforts that you may need. Bedrolls. We have a few pillows and other things that we can provide. We don't really have much in the way of food. Uh, my people, we don't tend to eat on a natural basis as you humanoids do. Um, oh, I believe, yes. I believe Flick is returning today. He may have uh, some more surface world food that you will be more familiar with. So he can provide you with that as well. But yes, please, yourself at home for the time being. If you have any questions or other concerns, Little Bert will be here tending to the children. And of course, all these little, myconoid kids seem to scurry around you and, try to weave in between your feet as you're walking. Uh, she'll be tending to the kids as I will head out to the field. The water is drinkable. Refill anything, by all means, help yourself. But if you all will excuse me, I must attend to the cot. And he turns back um, and starts heading into the large, massive field of mushrooms as he takes, one or two leftover, bodies that are still kind of left unattended, starts dragging them out to the uh, the the fields. Lilpert, the other myconoid that has been following you all or walking with you all, turns to you all and goes, "Well, if you all are settled, we can provide you with some blankets and bedrolls if needed. And I can grab those for you now." And she's just kind of very timidly, goes into the home, grabs a few things, provides you with, very basic comforts, but, there's rather comfortable looking, like shawls and blankets that she throws out onto the floor and provides, much more welcoming atmosphere. If you all need anything, let me know. I will send Flick your way as well. He should be able to uh, give you a better layout of surrounding area as well. He's quite the accomplished cartographer, so they'll be able to give you some rather fine direction to death. Um, but please make yourselves at home. Flick should be back momentarily.
Cool.
And she just turns and heads into the home, and you can see and hear the sounds of lively kids rushing in, uh, making a clatter in the house. You can just hear her, kind of like any other mom trying to rein in a large group of young kids or a teacher trying to just get these kids focused and get them to do what they need to do. So you can just hear the telltale signs of that, and you are all uh, left together to set up camp essentially.
Cool. Alrighty. I guess we'll hunker in. You know, this will be our last comfortable long rest for a few days. Yeah, so I don't know if anybody else wants to do anything. I feel probably wander around a little bit before settling in for his meditation.
All right. Cool.
Just breathe in that fresh, crisp Underdark air
Yeah.
that his lungs have been missing for so long.
Nah. It's a rather welcomed cure for homesickness, honestly. And even though this area in particular seems to be, you know, rather moist in the air, there's a bit of like pollen or spores that you can see floating in the air drift of this massive cavern. You can breathe in deeply and not get affected by these spores, not making you cough or anything. But yeah, it's definitely the smell of home, and it's welcome.
Nothing quite like stale air.
Yeah. You're gonna hear the sounds of the water splashing behind you. Maybe only, 50 yards to the surface of the pond that this waterfall feeds into. Is anyone else doing anything?
I don't think so. I think just resting. Um,
Yeah, you did have to carry 15 bodies on top of a giant, so.
yeah. I have a feeling I'm a little bit tired.
I mean,
Sure.
you were talking the whole time, so.
Yes, I was talking the whole time, and just it helps if you like also like talk while you're like exercising. It really get your heart rate going.
Yeah, I've heard it increases lung capacity, so.
Yes. So that she can talk even longer.
Exactly.
So I will say you can start getting yourself set up for either a short rest or a long rest, whichever you would like. One thing
Sure.
I would like to point, PT. You are a pocket turtle of life. Cleric, who that's what your subclass is, right? You're a life cleric,
Yeah.
a domain. So you have a unique tether to the life force of the world. Your domain, your main focus of your divinity is that of providing life and the knowledge and awareness of life. And as you are, most as you've been, helping and dragging these bodies and bringing them to this mortuary, you've been getting a sense, a rather, it's started small and gradually rose more and more to a peak of awareness as you've been in this area, this mortuary. You've been kind of on like the outskirts of your vision. You can, or outskirts of your mind, you can feel the essence of life, of rebirth almost, renewal, rejuvenation. This whole cavern, this immense, maybe 2, 3, 4 mile huge cavern, has this unique presence of life to it. And you can just sense it through your divinity that the soil here, the eons of cycles that have happened through this dirt, through these mushrooms, the morels, the morning mortuary, that um, so many bodies have gone into the ground, their life essence suffusing into the earth and providing life to the mushrooms that now fill this cavern. To then have the mushrooms break down life or the absence of life and break that down, corpses or, you know, just dead material being broken down, repurposed, rejuvenated to provide even more nutrients to the life or to the mushrooms before. And you just are almost like wrapped in this feeling, this acknowledgement of the cycle of renewal that this morning mortuary provide. And it's just kind of giving you a very warm feeling. You feel like it's like a a familiar shawl that's thrown over your shoulders, and you're thrown over your shell to keep you warm in the middle of the. It's like a hot cup of tea that goes down cold, rainy days. So it's a small feeling that's just been gradually becoming more evident, and you can't help but feel, I don't know, comfortable in this huge. It may be rather huge, expansive, field of mushrooms, but it's comfortable.
Would you say it's a feeling of inspiration?
I would not, but uh,
Just a
tried,
happy
BT, I
pocket
tried.
turtle.
I tried.
yeah,
It's the warm
but
blanket of inspiration giving you a bonus roll on your dice.
someone's been playing too much Baldur game.
You know it. Wait, you mean I don't get 4 points of inspiration every time I do something in the game that people like?
So a few hours go by, about 2-3 hours go by, and you all you all hear a knock on the side of the door, or the side of the like open barn that you all are in. And around the corner, a human male walks around, and he's dressed in um, fairly simple adventuring gear. He's got a leather vest, hiking boots, very worn leather pants, a like a short sleeve tunic. He's wearing a pair of glasses, very short hair, almost like a buzz cut, and you can see uh, he's got darker skin. Um, but as he approaches your group, his skin is he looks dirty. That like he has almost like a layer of dirt that just kind of like falls over the surface of his skin. Um, though he seems to be like a lighter male, he just seems to have this like ever present layer of fine dirt.
Oh, I know
If you
somebody like
all
that.
look closely, his exposed forearms, you can see on the outside, he has what appear to be small collections of mushrooms growing out of his skin that
Oh,
appear to be like a bright red in color. It almost looks like sores, but Ooh, excuse me.
I was gonna ask if
I
this
got a tickle in
dirty,
my throat.
this dirty person is actually a small child with a pocket watch
No.
that needs a bath badly, but
Yeah.
refuses to take one.
But yeah, it appears that he has these very vibrantly red colored mushroom growing out of his forearm. Um, and you can see he's carrying a large, like, not burlap, a large leather sack over his shoulder. And you can see a number of parchment poking at the lid of him. And he just kind of approaches your group, adjusting his glasses, goes, yes, I believe you were the adventuring group that I was referred to. Uh, you can call me Flick. I'm a cartographer here for the morning mortuary. Are you all the people that are again described to me? Yes?
Yeah, you were sent here by our good friend. Hold on, I wrote this down. I wrote this down just for this moment here. If you're sent by Ergen and
Yeah.
wife and kids.
All right. Oh, very well. All right. Um, hmm. So you are adventuring through the Underdark. How novel. Um, well, seeing as you are drow, certainly can't be too unfamiliar for you, yes.
Yeah.
Uh,
I've had my fair share of romps around here.
sure. In a total of all things, you are quite small for your species, aren't you? Ah, how unique. Very interesting. Um, yes, hello everyone. Like I said, I am Flick. I am the cartographer here, and you are looking for Dearth.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
think that's our next destination here. So,
Well, Dearth is one of the most well-known cities of Dwargar down here in this section of the Bible Crest. Isn't too well populated, but a rather large city. Um, I mean, it is fairly well guarded, and well, the Dwargar aren't very keen on accepting new visitors. So if you are looking to venture to the city, um, it'll be a bit of a trek.
well,
But I certainly have quite a few maps that I can. I'll have to duplicate them for you because mine, of course. But I can get them set up and get you a duplicate copy. Should it be an issue? Um, how are you all with acid? You okay with that?
acid.
Yes,
Um,
there's a rather substantial trek of hard limestone passages that are filled with um, natural sulfuric acid pits that, they will bore your bone
Um,
if you're not careful.
I already had
Ooh,
someone stab a hole in my jacket. I am really not okay with the rest of my outfit being
ooh.
ruined. Is
Well, then
there like
you will particularly do well with not falling into the acid because
yeah,
your clothing will not hold up whatsoever.
yeah.
And you watch as he kind of turns around and shows the backside of his vest, and there's just like a whole bunch of like pockmark of burned splashes. So I guess they are rather unforgiving. But it is the most expedient way to at least start your travel to Death.
Ugh,
well,
Um,
okay, fine.
uh, and as I would hear, you've been kind of on the heel end of an investigation of these ministers. I hear they're called, or uh, ashen cloaks. They've been referred to here, but it's been some time. I've been to the surface, entirely certain as to what uh, facsimile of the society that they adhere to. We've just been referring them as Ashen Cloak.
yeah. Well, their society was up on the surface
Ah,
up until not too long ago.
uh, oof.
But
Yes.
we don't actually necessarily need to go to Dearth if you know where the Ashen Cloaks are conglomerating.
Well, as
You wouldn't happen to know, would you?
all signs seem to point to Dearth, as um, as Ergen seemed to have explained before. I've done some reconnaissance as well. It does definitely seem like there's been more activity coming from the city of Death. Um, it could definitely be a sign that that is where they're headed.
Hmm.
Death is a rather prosperous city. They have a prominent mining uh, mine there. So it could be that if they're looking for just resources or material of value, then they could definitely be found there in Dearth. So if that's where they're headed, they're looking for uh, allies or to gain power through these allies, then Dearth is a rather larger community of Jorgar. So they're looking at peace talks or something like that, then Earth would definitely be the place. It definitely has. Oh, excuse me. Ooh, I had a nut roast earlier. It's really coming back. Ooh. But I mean,
Well.
I can only assume that that is the most logical
All right. Well,
decision for them to make. Or
sounds like we're
area.
headed. Sounds like we're headed to Dearth then.
That's
Okay.
right. And he starts pulling out all the sheets of paper and he starts
Alright, so-
laying them all out on the
So we're taking the acid route, because that's the
Oh.
fastest one, correct?
Most definitely. It is the quickest and, believe it or not, the most traveled of routes to Dunth.
Well,
It does
Prin-
have quite a bit of extravagant wildlife there, however.
Well, wildlife we're okay with, and Princess over here can get herself a new new outfit when we hit to the city.
You
So.
see Flick kind of like leans in close. He touches he adjusts his glasses and starts squinting. He goes, "Your princess?
Well,
I didn't think they still had those up there." Wow.
Oh, you
Oh,
think
you'd be-
I'm like pretty like a princess? Oh,
You'd be surprised you'd be surprised at the characters that are up on the surface.
Oh, believe me,
Just
I'm
remember,
well
Ephraim
too
rolled
familiar
that
with-
he liked Sally.
Maybe
So he starts like going.
she might be
over all
growing
these-
on me.
Oh no, that's
like one of
probably
those
just some-
mushrooms.
Yeah, like a mushroom.
Yes. Well, I can definitely get you set up with happens. Oh, I have some potions here. I can brew up some resistance potions for the acid. That's definitely done me wonders. I'll see what I can do of whipping up some extra ones for you all. Are you all spending the night? Or are you going to be having some more time here? Like, do I get started on now, or do I have a little bit of time to collect more resources? What's the deal here? What are we working?
Well, I think we're looking to head out as soon as we're done gathering our strength here. Whatever the Ashen Cloaks are up to is not good for anybody around here. So,
It doesn't
we're
seem
looking to
like
head out
they're
quickly.
playing very kindly with the locals, if you
let's
will.
just say business is booming here at the mortuary because of the Ashen Cloaks. So,
Yes, that's what it seems. Ergen explained that they're getting stretched a bit thin with the workers on the field. So, verily, let me jump to my cabin. I will see what I can scrounge up as far as acid resistant potions that I have.
yeah, do what you can, and Sally will pay you for your hard work. So,
Oh no payment necessary. This is
no. I insist that Sally pays you for your hard work.
but well, there's really not like a use for currency down here, so your money is literally worth it. But we'll say you owe me a favor. How about?
Okay, we say that Sally.
Oh
owes
right,
you a favor.
yes,
Okay.
perfect, awesome, agreed upon. Let's go ahead. I'll give you this map here for now, so you can study it. When I go back home, I'll make up a new one. May take me a few minutes there. I'll scratch up some potions.
Actually, as a ranger, I think I can probably just study the map and then not get lost. So, I don't know if we even need a map. It might not be bad to have. You know what? It's probably a good idea to have one for the rest of the party.
I implore you, use the map. Look, not all of us are gifted with the natural innate ability to understand your surroundings. God, it's my brothers all over again.
I mean, yeah, you're right. You're right. Not all of us are gifted with the ability to let them and their party not get lost.
Well,
I mean,
with that aside, please
granted,
study the
if
map.
I got separated from the party,
I
it would
worked
be
very
all
hard
over.
on doing this. It's gotten me. Trust me. Make use of the map.
Hey, we'll take the
Um,
map.
Okay. You all settle in. I'll be back in a bit. And I'll gather potion map, blah, 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 all that jazz. Okay. Wow. What a fresh new set of faces. Been a while. We don't get many visitors here at the Morning Morale.
At least not many alive ones, anyways.
Was that a joke? Was
What?
that a joke? That was pretty funny. You're a funny guy, you. All right. Well, let me get to work. Toodaloo. He just curtly turns and walks away.
Alright.
Within an hour, I'd say he returns. Okie dokie. So I have myself 4 vials of acid resistance. They do only last about an hour, so it should be able to get you through the main trek of the acid pits. Provided, of course, you don't fall in. It'll give you a good couple of seconds. If you do manage to fully submerge yourself into the acid pits, it'll give you at least a few seconds to try and scrabble back onto the rocks without having your entire face melted off. But got 4 vials of that. And here is a copy of the map that you can follow. Should provide you plenty of direction to the city of Dunth. I've also included a bit of a index on some of the local wildlife that are around here. If you're not familiar, I've done plenty of scouting here. I know my way around these caverns, so you can take a look at this. Prepare yourselves with whatever type of physical abilities that you have, or just sword play, I guess. That sounded vaguely sexual innuendo. Excuse that. I didn't mean. Look, I haven't talked to actual people in a very long time, so you'll have to forgive me. But yes, you should have quite a bit. As far as other equipment, don't actually have much more than this right now. I had to kind of scrounge it up as it was, so that's all I got. Is there anything else that you think you would need as far as our services here?
Uh,
Sounds like you're looking to head out before.
yeah. Probably just a few more hours apiece so we can finish our rest here, and then
Well, that we can provide you in spades.
cool.
That's what they say, right? That's still saying up there.
Uh,
It's been so
I've-
long. I'm sorry.
I've heard it once or twice.
What does that even mean? Oh, spades. I'm like, we got so many shovels here. I mean, is that what it's supposed to mean?
I think they're talking about a deck
Goodness.
of cards.
Oh. That would make more sense, wouldn't it? I don't know. Spades are more of a thing here, like in the shovel. All right. Well, I will let you all be. You all take care, I guess. I'll see you around. Maybe. Don't die out there.
I would never.
Well, I certainly haven't, and I'm me. So
Doing great. All right. So I'll give I guess everybody besides me can get a potion of acid resistance because clearly I'm not gonna fall in the acid. So
Well, I had a thought with my shell. I'm pretty good against things. So if someone needed to like use me as a shoe, I mean, just stand on
As a
top of me and we'd be.
I was gonna
okay.
say raft, but then I remembered
Yeah.
how small you were.
Small, like one snowshoe or
All right.
acid shoe, I guess.
And then the index of wildlife, that sounds like some druid nonsense. So have fun, Mr. Druid, with the index of wildlife for the surrounding area.
I can do that.
So
All right. Well, I guess if our little pocket turtle doesn't want the acid because I don't know, your bet's as good as mine if the shell's acid resistance, but if you want me to hold on to it instead, I will.
We'll take it.
Okay,
I'm
you can
just
have it.
saying,
You can
I
have it
will
because
live extra defense.
clearly I would never fall in. I have never failed a stealth check. I've never failed an athletics check. I'll be fine in the acid.
See what happens if you both just drink half of the potion.
Yeah.
Nah, it's like Hercules. You need to drink every last drop, otherwise, you
Yeah.
retain a fraction of your power.
Yeah.
Unless you drink every last drop, the acid will still hurt you. That's the lore I choose to believe, anyways. Cool. All right. Well, I guess let us finish up our long rest.
Oh yeah, I have to mark.
Are you guys? Well, if you guys are taking a long rest, then Flick will get you more potions that he can work on.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, yeah, I think the intention was always to take a long rest. I just don't know at what point during the long rest he showed up.
Yeah, I thought
God.
he came in the morning.
I didn't know if he interrupted it, and we were like, well, we're already
so-
halfway through our long rest, so
Yeah,
in
so it was-
4
it
hours
was
we're gonna head
more-
out. But
Yeah, it was like more of an in between then,
Okay.
because it was only like maybe 2 hours after you guys officially settled that he came in.
Yeah.
So it's
I
definitely
don't
in
think
the
there's
middle.
I don't think there's any reason not to take a long rest here. It feels like we're in a pretty safe place. And, let's just chill
So
out.
then,
So
yeah, Flick will be able to then get you 5 full vials, so
Okay.
everyone will be able to get one.
he gets one.
He can scrounge up a couple more, make a much better detailed looking map
Cool.
for the foreseeable journey. He can provide you with, each of 2 days worth of rations, and mushroom cleric. What else would he be able to get? I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, if any of you materials or supplies or healing, he would supply anything like that. He's a cleric himself.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if anybody needs healing. Well, I guess the long rest will take care of it.
Yeah.
All right. So,
while Ephriel goes into his trance sleep thing, Sally is going to try and braid his hair without waking him up.
roll me a sleight of hand
Okay.
and a stealth. I will give me a sleight of hand. Well, stealth first, then sleight of hand.
Okay, we'll do the red dice is stealth, and then the stone dice is sleight of hand.
Leo, I can't see.
Nat 20 on the stealth.
Nice.
Okay.
And the
So I definitely don't know.
And the sleight of hand was a 16.
All right. So it's a great braid, and I have no idea that it happened.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly. So you expertly shimmy over to where Ephriel is entranced, and without making a sound,
It's
the
God, I'm so at peace.
Just one braid, right here, just going down.
I mean, with a 16, I'd say you can get at least 3.
You can do whatever you want.
Pretty good ones.
I'll even give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm so relaxed after coming back to the Underdark for the first time in Lord knows how many years that you could pretty much do whatever you want with my hair. I guarantee you I won't notice. So
not to
have a
mention,
blast.
just someone playing with your hair is relaxing in itself.
Mhm.
So
it's so
I'm already
nice.
relaxed, and then all of a sudden it's just in the back of my mind there's just a little soothing.
Yeah.
It's like a brain massage.
Yes.
I miss having hair so much because whenever I would go to get a haircut and the girls with their fingernails massaging my scalp was the best damn feeling.
Yep.
I miss it so much.
So I'll do I'll do 2 braids tied together in the back and then one in the front. Just one strand in the front. Yeah.
He's got a
Beautiful.
rat tail. Yeah, expertly done. You make no more than a peep as you scurry over and go about your business. Um, anyone else doing anything for the nighttime?
I don't have anything for the nighttime, but
Nope, just sleep.
I roll the dice for what happens when I wake up.
All right.
And for the positive reaction of not having hair in my face, I have rolled very highly to I'll keep the braid and put my hood up.
All right.
So I rolled to see how much I like the braid. And I rolled an 18. So glad to see my rolls are really they're high when they matter.
Sure.
So if Sally would like to play the game of pull Ephriel's hood down to expose the braid, feel free, but I'm gonna keep it, but I'm gonna put the hood up so nobody sees it.
Druskvar, do you investigate the index of wildlife?
Probably skim through it
All right.
while we have some time.
So you all, I mean, you would definitely recognize some very basic, what's the word? Indigenous life forms of the Underdark. You're gonna see things like myconids. He written down gricks, ropers, umber hulks, onkegs, very large, chitinous, insectoid-like creatures, or like he explains, ropers are uh, aberrations that or monstrosities that disguise themselves as stalactites and are, covered in a very rocky surface. Kind of breaks down very, basic information on all these critters. Gricks are like these worm-like creatures that, seem to have a lot of acid resistance. Are very hardy creatures, but if you know your way around, get around that. Onkegs have an acid spray ability and are most likely to come across in the acid pit portion. Um, so definitely looking out for that. He says that oftentimes beholders will make their lairs down here in the Underdark. So it says he wrote down no beholders found so far, but still on lookout.
Okay.
I'm sure that's not foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Who would say?
I mean, come on, Beholder is it's classic. It's a
such
classic.
yeah.
It's such a classic.
All right. So that's pretty much the long and short of it. If you all go, complete our long rest.
Yeah.
Cool. So you all benefit from a long rest. Spells return, abilities return, all that jazz. So you all wake up feeling quite refreshed, very confident in your journey, yet know that it's going to be a perilous one regardless. So,
Perilous schmerilous. This is my house. This is where I live.
mm-hmm.
I'm sure I won't fall into the
You
acid.
made such a great introduction back.
It's been an hour. I'm comfortable again in my own terrain. No such thing is no such thing as hard terrain when I'm down here for an hour. So we'll see. We'll see if I still slip in anyways, though. Knowing my rolls, I'll roll a 3 to slip in the acid and a 20 to have a crush on Sally for pulling me out. So
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
No, you should roll like a comparison roll. Like roll what you would get, roll to see what you would get with Jax, and then compare that
Oh.
number with the number you got for Sally, which was like something like a 17, I think.
I rolled your rolls.
Uh-huh.
First roll. Sorry, you'll have to figure out whose rolls are whose.
I
The
think I'll
first
know.
mysterious unnamed person got a 3. The second mysterious unnamed person got an 18.
Okay.
So-
yeah, then definitely.
And you want to know Luck's roll? I'm rolling on a D4 to really prove my point. He got a 4.
All right, so y'all wake up, prepared and ready to go. The map suggests heading north from the morning morale, pretty much back from the way that you came at that initial dilapidated village, but instead of making right into the cavern from morale, you head to the entrance and you make a right from there, and that takes you further down um, the caverns and brings you towards where this uh, acid pit and limestone bridgeway that you need to cross. Um, Let me have everyone make a survival check as you start your journey through these dark and arduous tunnels.
Dirty 20.
Ooh, nice.
26.
13. So
26.
Nice.
Oh.
Oh my god,
Don't
we're
make my
surviving.
dirty 20 look bad.
Imagine rolling a dirty 20. Jeez, what a low roll. Sorry, am I allowed to say that? Considering I rolled a nat 1 for stealth.
Seeing as how all of your rolls before this very one have been
That's
shit.
it. I've rolled like 7 dice tonight. They've either been 18 plus or 4 below, and that's it.
Yeah.
And nothing in the middle. It's either been pathetic or amazing. Ugh.
All right, so all of you emboldened by the unexpected wealth of comfort the night was provided to you. You start off with a confidence in your hearts, where you start making your way, following the map. Very, very, easy to follow, and it's a bit of a rough trek for a good couple hours, about 3 hours worth of just traveling through these dark tunnels. Most of you have dark vision, as far as I know. So I think
Only dark
PT
vision?
I
I mean,
think
you don't have superior dark vision.
I think PT is the only one. You're the only one without dark vision. Do turtles have dark vision?
Probably not.
Goliaths don't either.
But it's okay.
She's
She's a pocket turtle. She can go in my pocket.
Yeah, honestly, like with the acid stuff, once we get like close to acid, I'm just gonna go into my shell and not come out until we're past.
Right. Well, so most of your party can see well enough to guide at least the rest of your party. Actually,
I have dancing lights as a cantrip if that helps.
That works too.
that would work, sure. If man,
Everybody that doesn't have dark vision gets a light, and I'll just keep casting it every time it runs out.
I
It lasts
wonder
for a
if,
minute, but, you
Tabaxi
know.
have dark vision.
Or sorry, it doesn't. Sorry, it doesn't last for a minute. It lasts how? Oh yeah, concentration up to a minute. What? I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
We'll just pretend that I keep it going forever.
Okay, they do have dark. So yeah, popping up a couple of dancing lights, easy enough to guide your way, and you've all Sally, Trick, you guys seem to have harder time traveling than the rest of your party does. Sally, you did a lot of the heavy lifting the day before. So your muscles are tense, your
Yeah, you can
legs are
have
sore, your
3 points
feet
of
hurt.
exhaustion.
So
But you know
it's a
what?
little
It
rough.
hurts so good. It's fine.
That's that good burn. That's that
Good
muscle
burn.
building burn.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Um,
just rough to, then go on like a hike the next day, but
Yeah.
it still feels good.
Trick is the same way. He's a very lithe tabaxi. He's not super strong, and he's not used to as rugged of a living as some of the rest of you are here in this group. So he's having a bit of a hard time as well. Actually, he falls behind a little. Um, so Sally and Trick, I'm gonna make a roll for Trick. Sally, I would like you to make me Constitution saving.
Unrelated note, I just realized that as a hurrah or as a ranger, I have primeval awareness, which means I can detect dragons.
Yeah.
Is this the campaign where somebody's trying to fight dragons, or am I getting mixed up at this point?
No, I think that was the last
That
one
was the
shot.
one oh you're right. That was the one shot. Damn it. Never mind. The irrelevant
Oh,
irrelevant
yeah.
information. I was like, wait, I can sense dragons. Everything's a dragon.
Yeah.
That was the horror one shot.
That was Hope's
Yeah,
character in
yeah.
the last campaign,
Yeah.
wasn't it? All right.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And my Constitution saving throw was a 19.
18. All right. So you muster yourself and just grin and bear it. It's kind of a shitty hike. It it hurts, but honestly, you are no stranger to pain. You are no stranger
Nope.
to having some sore muscles. So you just tough it out and you keep track with the rest of your party fairly well. Trick having a bit of a harder time keeping the rest of but his resolve to be a part of the party, to play his part, and to uh, impress his patron.
I just
Or
imagine Trick being like, "Hey guys, I'll guide you," and then I'm like, "Cool," and I just take off at maximum stride.
Yeah.
Because I'm like struggling a little bit, like I'll be like at the back of the pack with him. So
Yeah.
like every time
Oh,
he like
sorry,
starts
Sally.
every time he starts falling behind, I'm like,
Oh
"Come
wait,
on,
sorry,
you've
Sally's
got
struggling.
this."
Yeah,
If
you can.
Sally's struggling, I'll slow down just an eensy teensy weensy a little bit.
I'm just a little sore, but like I'm at like the
Mhm.
back of the pack, and like every
Yeah.
time I see Trick like falling behind, I'm like, "Come on, you've got this.
He
Work
he
those
doesn't
kitty
fall behind.
legs."
He doesn't fall behind too much.
Mhm.
And he especially with your encouragement at this point, he definitely trailing behind just a tad. He definitely keeps up with the majority of the party as well.
Yeah, and
Uh,
I'm just gonna make sure that like I'm gonna
mm,
stay in the back to make sure like no one is left behind. Like
Yeah.
I'll keep an eye on the front while making sure that
mhm.
he's keeping up
So
with us.
he does some huffing and puffing, but yeah,
Mhm.
he definitely keeps up. Um, no, no, what was it?
No
What was it called?
fuss, no bust,
Exhaustion.
no coconuts.
No points of exhaustion from anybody in the party.
Cool.
So after a long trek, you all break out of the cavern. It's been kind of like a giant tunnel this whole time. You finally reach an opening tunnel. And just maybe about 50 feet before this opening, you are all hit like a hammer to your senses. The smell of sulfur and like the sound of bubbling, churning water. And this luminous, sickly lime green coloration illuminates the following cavern.
I love
You
the smell
find yourself in the opening
of the Gatorade swamp.
of, of acid.
Nice.
I would like everybody to make me a perception
reference to what movie is it? The horses in the acid.
Never Ending Story. Artax in the
no.
Swamp of Sadness.
Dirty 20.
Yeah.
16.
23.
23.
Oh, let's go.
Very nice. You are all able to see a very clear pathway, though it has been kind of broken up by various streams of acid and these pools connecting to other pools. Um, but you can see a worn kind of pathway. And referring back to the map, you can see that there is indeed a trail that's marked out through the various excuse me, through the various pools and limestone caverns, and it's kind of like this, this, and then this, up, and then out, kind of like that. So it's a bit rough, and there's a lot of large rocks and boulders and less worn spots of traversal that you would need to climb through. Um, but all with all of your perception checks being as high as they were, you all can make out a campsite and one of the larger like plateaus of rock formations. You can see a couple of roughshod tents and a makeshift fire pit. It's a little bit further out into the middle of this excuse me, in the middle of this pool of acid, but you can see it maked out all the same. You also notice a ton of bodies. A lot are like just completely bleached skeletons of people hanging off of rocks. You see a large horse here that is completely dissolved to the bone, that is just kind of floating at the surface. You see a number of skeletons that are like halfway in, halfway out. So, like this one in particular is like still kind of. Oh, I didn't mean to move him. No, he was over here. Never mind. So like the top half of his body is more of a zombie looking appearance with flesh still kind of on the bone, but obviously, rotting away, and then just see his spine and hips completely melted to the bone. And it's very similar with all a bunch of these small little spots that you can see. Um, the top of the cavern is all these like areas here are just tons of rock formations, stalagmites, limescale deposits. Yeah, it's just a pretty impressive venue. But you know how it is, and now stepping into another open part of this cavern, you can feel just the heat. It is a drastic change in temperature. The subterranean tunnels that you've been walking through has been a rather steady like 60 degrees, 62, 63 degrees. But now that you've entered this acid zone, it has hiked up. There's humidity in the air, just sheer amount of moisture, and just like a lava spring. The heat here is just skyrocketed, and you all immediately start to sweat just under the presence of your armor and clothing, and just the sheer amount of heat that's exuded from uh, these vents. Like there's some smoke vents on these rock formations. The acid. It's a harsh environment. But I think we will leave it there before we really start getting into the arduous task of traveling through these.
Cool.
All right.
Coolio.
All right. Awesome. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us again for our finally second episode of Over the Underdark. I have been Alex, rather. Yeah. Did we have any other closing remarks?
So when this next session is supposed to be is my birthday day.
Yay!
I
Yay.
might plan something different just for the occasion, but I'll let
Okay.
you guys know for certain whether or not we're gonna do this stream or not.
Yeah, let me double check my
Cool.
schedule.
I
Well, I'm going to I'm going to Spain for a Mediterranean cruise.
okay.
Woo!
I requested off the 15th through the 24th. I don't remember if I leave the night of the 14th or the morning of the 15th.
That's fine. What I was
So let me
planning
double-check.
on doing was actually something for the Rune Lords group. Anyway.
Oh,
Ah,
okay then.
I was planning on
wedding.
I see how it is.
Yep, I was planning on the wedding.
Wedding. Yeah.
I thought
Hell
the best
yeah.
birthday present I could give myself and that Kimmy could give me is even more opportunities to torture her.
You need
By
me to
making
officiate
her
the
go-
wedding, right?
By
Is that-
making her go through with the wedding and not be able to back out of it, not be able to fake her death,
I am
no matter how
so
much she
for
wants
this.
to.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Alright, well, I mean, if you need somebody to officiate the wedding, I can. I'll make sure that I'm definitely free. So
You're just like on the plane ride and you're all like,
Yeah, right.
"Do you-"
everybody on the plane's gonna be so confused as to what they're hearing, but I'll be like officiating a fake wedding on plane Wi-Fi. People are like, "Shut the fuck up! I'm trying to sleep."
All right.
I'll be
Well,
like,
people think it's
"Do
a real
you?"
wedding, and they're all like filming it as like one of those
Alright.
wholesome
Yeah.
stories kind of
Yeah,
thing, and
oh,
clapping at the end.
And then at the end, he's just like, guys, it was for a D&D game.
Well, you see, she's a tabaxi, and he's
Yeah.
a drow, so
Actually-
they're like, "What are
It's
you
a
on
forbidden
about?"
love.
It's a forbidden love. You wouldn't understand.
Unfortunately, it's a human and an elf, but still.
Well, we can make it work.
So yeah, I was planning on doing the wedding for my birthday, but
No, that would be fun.
yeah. But yeah, so
I get to be a flower girl.
no, you are the
I'm the maid of honor.
you're the maid of honor. Dan's character is the flower girl and the ring bearer.
That's right.
The flower boy. But yeah. So next week will be Curse of Strahd at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday the 6th. Rise of the Rune Lords, 7:30 Eastern Time on Thursday the 7th. And then on 14th,
Yay.
we will be streaming. What we'll be streaming is we'll find out soon, but most likely it is going to be an impromptu wedding that may or may not be canon.
It is canon in our hearts.
It's canon in our hearts, absolutely.
All right.
Other than that, yeah, I really have nothing. So everyone have a great rest of your week, an amazing weekend,
Yeah.
and as our new saying goes, see you next Thursday. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.